Hello class, I hope you're all as excited as I am to get into today's reading. I heard we might have some special guests to help us out along too. Now, as you can see around me, we have a bunch of different types of musical instruments. Some of them even have funny faces on them. Let's take a quick second and just look at some of these instruments. Over here, we have a trumpet. This is a string bass. We have a piano, which in this story we're going to call a celeste. Over here we have an acoustic guitar. We have another brass instrument, a trombone. We have one of our woodwind instruments, which is a flute. But in this story, we're going to refer to this as a piccolo. And last but not least, we have our most important instrument in the orchestra, which is the tuba. This is a huge brass instrument, makes a very low sound, but this is one of the most important instruments in the band and the orchestra. Before we get started with our actual reading, let's take a second and look at a couple pictures. Let me make sure you can see me. All right, take a few seconds and without saying anything, think about what you think it's called when a string instrument, a brass instrument, percussion instrument, and woodwind instruments are all together in the same place at the same time. What might this group be called? Okay, do we have any guesses? No, it's not quite a band. Yes, that's correct. This is an orchestra. Let's take a closer look at the orchestra. What are some of the instruments you see in this picture? Are there any that I showed you that you see? What about ones that you don't see? So in this picture, unfortunately, we do not have an acoustic guitar and we do not have a celeste or a piano, but we can see the string bass, which I showed you. We can see the trumpet in the back with the brass. We can see the trombone and the tuba also in the back with the brass. And we can see the flute right in the middle with the woodwinds. Now, this is very important because we're going to be talking about a lot of these instruments and we're going to kind of be exploring the orchestra today. But before we get started, I have a secret to tell you guys. You can't tell anybody because he's kind of a celebrity, Brett. The tuba that I have brought with me is not any ordinary tuba. This tuba is actually the Tubby the Tuba. Tubby is super excited to be here today, and he's going to help me tell this story so we can share it with you guys, and you guys can have a great experience learning about these different types of musical instruments and kind of hearing about old Tubby's story a little bit. Let's get started. Once upon a time, there was an orchestra which was all busy tuning up. The oboe gave his A note, there it is, to the strings, to the woodwinds, and last but not least, to the brass. We're only going to hear trombone. Up and around the scales they raced, helter-skelter, faster and faster. All but Tubby the Tuba, a fat little tuba, don't worry, you're not that fat, puffing away, but oh so slow. thought Tubby, and sighed. Who's this? Here, what's the matter? Said Peepo the Piccolo. Oh, said Tubby, every time we do a new piece, you all get such pretty melodies to play, and I never get a pretty melody. But, said Peepo, people never write melodies for tubas. It just isn't done. Oh, there's the conductor. Shh. Shh, everybody, the conductor's coming. The conductor rapped his baton. Then the instruments began to play. First, the violins danced a lovely little tune on their strings. Then they cried to the flute, "Catch!" "Got it!" cried the flute. "My turn," tooted the trumpet. And then the rest joined in. The cello, the oboe, the bassoon, all singing this pretty little song. All the while, Tubby went. "Catch me!" cried the little tune. "Catch me!" "Got you!" cried Tubby. "Oh, you're sitting on me," said the little tune. Poor Tubby picked up the flat little tune, and he tried to squeeze it back into shape. Oh no, it's not quite working. "Oh, you clumsy fool," snapped the violin. "I'm sorry, Mr. Fiddle," said Tubby. The violins quivered with great indignation. That means they were annoyed. "You will refer to us as violins." Fiddles indeed. How snobby. "Tubby," said the conductor. "Tubby, what is the matter?" "Please, sir, I thought it would be so nice to dance with the pretty little tune instead of going ba, ba all the time." "Dance?" laughed the violins. "Dance? Well, really." The French horn quietly put his hand to his mouth and smiled. And the whole orchestra began to laugh at Tubby. "That's not very nice." "Stop it!" cried the conductor. "Stop it, I say! Tubby!" "Please, sir," said Tubby sadly, "I wasn't laughing." Rehearsal was over. Tubby was walking home with his friend Peepo the Piccolo. "Please, Peepo," said Tubby, "I just feel so bad. I don't think I want any company." "I understand," said Peepo. "Good night." "Good night," said Tubby. The moon was out. Tubby went to the river and sat down on a log. He looked at himself in the water, and he began to sing. "Alone am I, me and I together. If I went away from me, how unhappy I would be. Me and I, oh my sigh." The trees whispered in the wind. The waterfalls tinkled, and an old hoot owl hooted, "Hoo, hoo." Suddenly, a big bullfrog hopped out of the water and sat down right next to Tubby. "Ahem," coughed the frog. Booga. Booga. Lovely evening. Booga. I said, beautiful evening. Hello? Booga. Hello? Booga. Hello. But Tubby just sat. Oh well, said the frog. Oh well, if I'm not wanted. And he jumped back into the water. Oh, cried Tubby. Please, Mr. Frog, come back. I didn't mean to be impolite. Back hopped the frog. Oh, that's all right, said the frog. I'm used to it. No one pays any attention to me either. Really? Said Tubby. Why, of course. Every night I sit here and I sing my little heart out. But does anyone listen to me? No. Can you sing? Asked Tubby. Can I sing? Asked the frog. Listen. The frog started to sing a most beautiful melody. Do, 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 do. Oh, that's lovely, said Tubby. You try it, said the frog. Oh, thank you, said Tubby, and he began to play. Say, you're a fine tuba, said the frog. Tubby, you should try that melody with your orchestra sometime. Oh, I will, said Tubby. Goodbye, Mr. Frog. And off went Tubby, as happy could be. Said the frog. Most appreciative audience I've ever had. Fine musician, that tuba. Booga. Booga. A lovely evening. Booga. Booga. Good night. The next day, the orchestra was busy tuning up for the rehearsal and buzzing with excitement over the arrival of the great new conductor, Signor Pizzicato. Tubby practices ba, and he smiled to himself. Peepo, the piccolo, caught his eye. Feeling better? Uh-huh, winked Tubby. Here he comes, calls the French horn. Here comes Signor Pizzicato. Signor Pizzicato bowed to the orchestra and raised his baton. All right, he said, begin. And Tubby began to play his own little melody. Oh, that wretched tuba, snapped the violins. He'll disgrace us. The trombone stuck out his tongue. And the trumpets snickered. Be quiet back there. Tubby, said Signor Pizzicato. Tubby, I've never heard a tuba play a melody before. Let's hear the rest of it. Oh, said Tubby, here's my chance. And he played with all his heart. Why, how perfectly wonderful, murmured the strings. Please, Tubby, may we sing your tune too? How about me? Cried the xylophone. And me, said the trombone. May I? Said the celeste. Here I come, called Peepo. And they all played Tubby's melody. What's this? Well, we've done it, haven't we, Tubby? It was the bullfrog, sitting right beside him. We have our points too, don't we? And oh, thought Tubby, how happy I am. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I'm so happy we could get Tubby the Tuba himself out here for this week's reading. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And as always, if you need anything, I'll always be here.